Thank you for joining me for this episode of A Detailed Look, and in this one we're going to be taking a look at Mario Kart Tour's Space Tour and all the new items and the new track that is in play. So Space Pipe 1 has Satellaview Mario. I'm just going to call him Mario Astronaut. And we also have the Lunar Cruiser as well as the Meteor Balloons. Now in terms of the value here, Mario Astronaut has Lucky 7, which is an elite special skill, so that's likely to pique a lot of your interest out there. And he also starts off with 9 starting tracks of value, which is quite good. It's right near the top, which spells very good for its long-term value. Now granted, any item can start off with a lot of tracks and then not end up with a lot in the long run when it's all said and done. But this just means that at this checkpoint, he is near the maximum amount of value, which is good. However, given that it is a Mario variation, you know that the Mario alts don't tend to get a ton of the paywall buffing favor. Each one of them will get a handful of tracks, and none of them in particular become these incredible superstars like the Toadette Explorer or the Birdo Blacks, if you will, the Peach Explorers. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. Also, given that this is Lucky 7 and any fans of space in general might just find this costume to be really interesting, so I'd imagine that they will get a lot of pulls for this, and that could affect the value that this sees long term. If there is one thing going for this Mario character, in my opinion, it is that we are going to be entering the winter holiday season coming up, and we know that there's already Santa Mario, so we're not going to be seeing a brand new Mario alt likely during this winter during the winter festivities that we have coming up, and that means that this character could receive some paywall buffing favor in a couple months from now, depending upon when the next Mario alt does come to the game. So that's all stuff that you folks want to keep in mind. If we take a look at the Lunar Cruiser, Rocket Start Plus, the skill on carts isn't significant. Rocket Start is decent. You get that lump sum value right at the front of the race. And the starting track count is 8, which is quite good. It's 1 off of the maximum as far as carts go. Similar for the Meteor Balloons, starting track count is 8, and Blooper Plus is very good. Melds well with both Lucky 7 but also with Coinbox and pretty much any skill. Blooper Plus is one of the best ones out there. So I mean, is this pipe worth pulling on? Personally, I wouldn't recommend pulling on it to anyone out there unless you are a fan of Mario or outer space in general, and perhaps if the upcoming holiday, winter, New Year's themed items are not going to be appealing to you, this will be a consideration. But I do want to draw to your attention that there will be a special pipe, and it will contain gliders as the items. It will be a 30 pipe, and I just want to go ahead and review the items that will be in that pipe and kind of give you folks a preview of what you could be getting into there. So the first item that is possible to get is the Blizzard Parasol here. Not a lot of track value. I believe the assumed value count on this is 16, 17 total tracks, and here we have the Blizzard Balloons, which I've pulled twice recently. Right here, 16 tracks, and all 16 are assumed value, so not a lot of value, and there's actually a lot of overlap between these. So it's kind of like if you have one, it kind of covers you for them all, and in many situations you're going to have another more superior glider already covering you on a large majority of these courses. Let's see, what else do we have in there? Okay, so there's the Snow Crystals, which was previously pay locked. So this is the first time, if you're free to play, that you can have access to this glider. A bit more tracks here, but if we take out all of the city variants here, this is also an assumed count of 16 tracks. And then we have the Polka Dot Manta Glider, which I was anticipating would get a lot of value, and it did get a lot of value after the Ocean Glider pipe that we had in the summer, but a lot of the tracks it received were city tracks, and the assumed value count on this, despite the whopping number of tracks here, I believe it's 25 in total. But if we take out the 4 city tracks there, and then has 6 city tracks there, so it has an assumed value of only 15 tracks, which is pretty rough, honestly. Perhaps they'll give it a few more buffs to give it late life, but yeah, that one is definitely rough. And then the other one that we have is the brand new glider, if we can find it. Perhaps, there it is. Okay, right next to the swooper. So the Galaxy glider. Now, this is one, some players are projecting it to be a future top 10 glider. Perhaps it is likely to be, since it's a non-spotlight item in a special pipe. And it does have access to the new track, Rosalina's Ice World RT, as well as RMX Rainbow Road 2 RT. So it's getting both of the paywall tracks, both week 1 and week 2, which is going to entice many players who pull thinking competitively for ranked mode. It might get you into it, but given that the early value is so great on that, does make me wonder just how much life this glider has. None of the ribbon gliders are really extremely valuable, as well as the design resembles the Planet glider, which was so bad they offered it up instead of the silver bells in the tier shop several months back. So I do think it will be a top 10 glider, but what kind of account carrying capacity it will have remains to be seen, because there's also this glider here, the Pink Gold Meteors, which is packaged in with PGP in a $40 pack. This one to me just screams like it will be a more significant value, but perhaps they'll end up similarly in the top 10 each. So is that pipe worth pulling on? Certainly a 30 pipe is the most desirable kind of pipe that you could want to go into. All past 30 pipes were 3 high-end, which means that there's actually a situation in which case you may be optimal in using single pulls. If you're not trying to get all of the gliders in the pipe and just going till you hit your first high-end, the odds are in your favor to do single pulls, and obtaining a high-end glider in 8 or fewer pulls is greater than 50% when there are 3 high-end gliders out of 30 pipes. So that's all stuff to keep in mind. I'll go into more detail with that with you all on Sunday in the special pipe analysis when the exact odds are known, and we'll see if also all of the normal and super items in that pipe are gliders as well, which may factor into some of your decisions when it comes to whether it's worth pulling on this pipe or not for your account, because perhaps you want to make progress in your daily selects, or it may be a good pipe to pull on if you already have those items cleared, if you want coins, if your shop has been giving you a lot of high-end tickets. So all considerations that go into play there. So in terms of this week's ranked mode, we have Ice Mario Cup and Rainbow Road T. So this is likely to be a massive scoring track for a lot of you out there. Here we can see I have Peachette and Gold Shy Guy at level 4, but PGP at level 3. So we'll be looking at PGP there, as well as the this Koopa Clown, which is in the tier shop. I could purchase it and take it to level 4 there, but also many of you are likely to have some of these high-end options here. Like I know this is a pay-to-win special right here, the Rose Queen. Many of you in the audience are likely to have that at a high level. If not, this has been heavily featured, the Paintster, and it has a good size hitbox. So I know a lot of players invested into that. Those are 2 items that you're likely to have. And then we take a look at the gliders here. There's a super glider. It was Dixie Kong Spotlight with the pink flower glider, and a number of good gliders there that you're likely to have a high level. But we have the Dream glider here. So this is one that I'm heavily invested into, and it also got the brand new track too, Rainbow Road 2 RT RMX. So that's the kind of loadout that I'd be looking at. Actually, let's switch it to 150cc there. Okay. So that's my loadout for this track. Cheap Island Tee, we had this in the summer. I have a pair of level 2 Bob-omb dryers here. So let's look at Birdo Black. We have the Ramby Runner in play, as well as many other options, such as the Black Turbo Birdo cart, the Tanuki cart that many of you have invested into, as well as the Grand Bagwagon. So there's a lot of good carts here. Almost all of these carts, except for a few, are really extraordinary value. And then the glider is where I'm missing things, because a lot of these were featured in pipes. One thing to note is that these Sunset balloons are now in the standard pool of high-end, so you can pull this glider in your all-clear pipe, and it stays challenge pipe, or if you're going into the Mario pipe, or even yeah, just the Mario pipe, since the special pipe will not have a standard high-end allowance there. So that's all stuff to keep in mind. You can pay for this glider if you want to, but that's not the kind of analysis that I typically go into here on the channel. The one move that could be made is the Gold Home Field glider gains access to this track at level 6. It's an enormous investment. For me, it doesn't make sense to use up what would be 9 high-end glider tickets. That's exactly 50% of my stack that's remaining there. That won't be done this week. So that's my loadout for this track. And then we get to the brand new track, and we see I have the Gold Shy Guy, and there's a bunch of Mario alts, which is definitely not a common sight. But I do feel like they're getting the value in for these Mario characters ahead of the holiday season. And then I think they'll be a little bit farther and fewer in between from that point forward. And we also have this Reindeer Yoshi. Now, this is one thing that we've been noticing in the community, and I believe they also did it last year, but you'd have to go back and check the record to see if that's for sure. And that a lot of these holiday-themed characters seem to get the value ahead of the holiday season, and then during the holiday season, and then after that they have that precipitous decline afterwards. So certainly if you invested into the holiday characters in last year, or even in the first year of the game, that will be coming in good for you here. If not, when you do pull for those holiday characters coming up in the next month, do keep in mind that all of that will be immediate value. That likely won't carry your account forward 2 and 3 months beyond that point, such as I always make reference to Birdo Black and things of that kind. However, keep in mind that whatever you do pull in these winter tours coming up will likely come back to help you next year at this time, right before the holiday season once again, if they keep to the same trends. So we have Gold Shy Guy here. I have a couple of level 1 carts. Neither one are extraordinary for my inventory. I'd like to invest into the DK Maximum, but it overlaps a lot with the Ramby Runner and other good carts in my inventory. So, and then there's a few gold carts that are available here. And there's the Dream Glider once again, along with the PGP glider. So you can really just see how strong that PGP Meteor glider is there. So the loadout here, 414, not extraordinarily powerful. And then we get to this, and this, look, yeah, it's difficult to put into words. Like, I logged in late this tour, and it's like I was immediately confronted by this, and I didn't even play much in the last week. Certainly, those of you who know me well know that I've been going through some health things, and I've been going through grueling treatment, and this is not what I want to see when I log in. And I've dialed back the competitiveness, and certainly with the Ramby Runner in play and other good items in play, would it be fun to make a run? But I don't know if my loadouts are going to cut it, and I really just want to focus my energy on myself. And just putting out this content. Hopefully you can find information in this that is beneficial for you to craft your strategy and have all the fun and excitement in the competition that you can have in this tour. So that would be wonderful. As far as myself, I don't know. how much of this I'm going to compete against here, since the spread is quite remarkable, and that's even after I think I only put in like 35K last week. So I don't really have much to say there. And the next week doesn't look all that much better. So we'll just go into today's challenge and focus on some fun stuff here. Now, one thing that I noticed also that was a little bit off-putting with this tour, I don't know, this could just be my operating system though. Maybe somebody in the comments can let me know if this is a widespread issue, if this is specific to me, but the music does not play when I race, and in the settings here I can show you, my sound is turned on there, so, but it is incredibly jarring, I find. Even the basic sounds don't play, so I can't tell when, you know, shells are incoming and whatnot, like a blue shell or lightning or any of that stuff. So it's more than just the background music, and I don't really find it very immersive. So it will be interesting to see if through this screen recording and when I put it together in video, whether or not the music will play, and if not, then you're probably going to be hearing some other pleasant music playing instead of the actual game music here. Oh, nice. But the shell cooldown time is longer than that of the banana, so actually there have been situations in multiplayer races where I will intentionally ride into the back of an opponent's banana just so that I can hit them with a red shell if I'm in second place, and then take advantage of that longer cooldown time for the shell hit. So here we go, we're just finishing up. And we're going to get in before the blue shell, which is nice because nobody ever wants to have those hit them. All right. So let's see, are the totals going to remain the same? I think they did, so we're going to be pulling, hopefully not item tickets. I'm really not very enthusiastic about those. Driver cart or glider, I've never had a gold pipe on a camera, so that would be really cool. It's unusual lag. Okay, so we have a green pipe. Interesting, I've never had that kind of weird lag before. Is that a good sign or is that a bad omen? Oh, 5 rubies. Wait, did that? I'll have to go back and check. I thought it said 1917, but maybe it switched right before it went into the pipe hole. Interesting. But then again, if the music isn't working right on my operating system, maybe some other things have changed that could cause some differences there. All right. So before I finish up and do the free pipes, I might as well just do a run on Rainbow Road to RT. So I'm going to end up going in with, we'll go with DK Jr., right? And we'll just go with these. Yep, that looks good. I was hoping that DK Jr. would have gotten this track since he did debut in the Super Mario Kart Tour, in which we had RMX Rainbow Road 1. So we've come a long way in terms of the RMX Rainbow Roads. This is already 2 RT, and this is my first run through it. So far it looks pretty cool. Now, if I do remember, when the first one came out, it was a busted track, and I wasn't too thrilled by it, so I don't know how this one is so far. Hopefully it's not giving anyone any troubles out there. The issue was that on the ramps, when you had the coin boxes, the coins sprinkled through the ground, and there was no way to collect them, and they only corrected that later on. So here we go. That's pretty cool. Seems like a pretty short loop though. Okey-dokey. Ooh, very nice timing on that item spin. Alright. Keeping that non-stop combo alive. Certainly benefited by the level 4 high-end glider. And there we go. About 17K on that one. Wow, 18K. All right, so let's just finish off here with the free pipes. Once again, I don't think that this is a pipe that you should want to be pulling on unless this character means something special to you, whether the design is incredibly appealing, you're just a collector, a fan of the Lucky 7 characters, or if you're just generally a space enthusiast, because certainly the value of the upcoming pipes will be much greater than this pipe, and I want to see everyone out there get the maximum value for your account so that you can all succeed and do your very best. So let's go into the free pipes right now. First one up, we have a green pipe. And we have the DK Jumbo. Okay, very nice. You have a super. So second one up. You know, I'm feeling like a reset here. I never do this, but it's like I kind of want to just change my fate and see what happens, just to have a little bit of fun with it. So let's reset the pipe. All right, let's see what we get off of the reset now. Also green. All right, so we just get a normal driver. Probably didn't work out in my favor, but granted, 74% of the pipe is normals anyway. So please do share your support with the channel. My upload schedule has been thrown off quite a bit. Some of you may have noticed, and the one thing that I am really keen on releasing, because it is very time sensitive and no one else in the community really goes to the math and the detail of the way that I do, is with the special pipe analysis. I know a lot of you have very borderline difficult situations to determine what your odds are and if it's worth using your rubies, and you're so close to like 450, and if you use some rubies that just pushes you further away. So I understand that information is important, and I'm always doing the best that I can in talking with you in the comments to help you figure out what the value of not just the items are, but also what these rubies will look like for your outlook and your experience. So the way that I'm able to have a meaningful impact in your game means a lot to me. So I do try my absolute best to have that come out on time. Otherwise, everything else you know, might be a little bit awry, but as always, your support means the world. I look forward to these interactions. They really keep me going. So take care, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful tour. See ya.